Good morning. Thank you all for being here, and I first would just like to say how honored I am to be a part of Lift Pakistan. Only 40 days ago, maybe a little more, Kuram and I became acquainted on Facebook thanks to a mutual friend. And I remember saying to him that we may be in different countries, but the mission is the same. My main job is I help people start businesses, and we'll get into that in just a minute. But being here is a reflection of my mission. Today we're going to talk about vision, decision, and action. This may feel simple to some, but what I'm going to ask you guys is to follow with me for just a little while, and we're going to get into the meat of it. First of all, about me, I'm the founder of Growthli. Growthli is an incubator in Houston, Texas. We have executive suites and co-working, but we mostly focus on growing individuals. I'm a startup consultant, a business coach, passionate about helping people, but I'll give you a little tidbit. I hate the sound of my own voice. So when I speak at these events and when I hear myself recorded, oh man. So first we're going to get into the importance of vision, decision, and action. And what I want to ask you is, of those three, which is the most important? Raise your hands if you believe vision is the most important part of those three. Okay? Raise your hand if you believe decision is the most important part. Now, how about action? So we're very mixed, right? I see a few hands go up with all three. I see some people on each side. So we're going to come back around to this here at the end. So let's get into vision. The first thing I want to talk about vision is when we have these ideas and we're looking to build something new, it always starts here, occasionally here, right? It's not real yet, it's just something we're thinking about. The reality is sometimes that our vision is too small, right? We start to develop vision around things we think we can do or things we think we can learn how to do. So as we begin cultivating this vision, we begin building this idea. One of the things I challenge all of you is that once you have your vision, you must reshape it. After you've decided this thing you're going to do, and you begin to build it in your mind, ask yourself, is this big enough? Is it bigger than me? Is it bigger than anything I think I could achieve? And if the answer is no, you're aiming too low. You have to reshape that vision. The next thing you need to do is then commit to that vision. And I'll tell you, when you have this vision and you begin to reshape it and you start to believe in it and you start to go towards it, sometimes we lose commitment because we begin to fear it. Oh man, it's too big. Oh, I've thought about this, and Kuram, you can tell me, as you've been conceiving this, was there ever a day you woke up and said, my gosh, this is so big? But you committed to the vision. And so I ask all of you to do that as well. Oop. Once you've committed to your vision, you have to start making decisions, right? You have to start deciding what you're going to do, what you're not going to do. Your guiding light during decision making is your vision. If you do not have a clear vision, when you start making decisions, you choose to do all kinds of things, and then you get nothing done. So when you have your vision and you begin to make your decisions, let's talk about how we can do that. During the roadblocks to decisions, people often ask themselves, man, I don't know how to do this. They have their vision, they make a decision, and then they start to backtrack. They walk away from it because they fear what they don't know. They worry that their circumstances and their capabilities do not match the vision. And what I want to tell you is, they don't have to. You go into what it's going to be. You will find better circumstances. You will find more capabilities. When I grew my business in the United States, I grew it from nothing. In fact, just previous to my business I have now, I was bankrupt. Right? So I didn't have tons of money. I didn't have any circumstance. I had no resources, but I had a vision of being able to help people grow businesses, give them a safe place to be. And I was just committed to that so much that I found my circumstances. I found my resources. You cannot let fear and worry stop you. Yesterday, one of the startups who pitched that we did not let through came to me and said, I am discouraged. Because you did not accept us, maybe it's not a good idea. I said, you cannot let fear, worry, and doubt that we didn't accept you into the second round dictate that you stop. You must continue and push through. The other thing that keeps people from making good decisions is what-if scenarios. And I am guilty of this. I'm a creative at heart. I used to help people build brands for franchises, and I always, well, if I design it this way, what if it doesn't reach someone else? When you're building your business, you can't be so filled with what-ifs that you get nothing done. You have to put those aside and take action. And when you do, if something doesn't work, you make a new decision. That's the beauty of being a business owner. That's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. You get the right to mess up, make the wrong decision, and then do it differently. So when we make the decision, sometimes where we get caught, like I said in the what if, is there's so many options. I mean, building a business, targeting an audience, deciding on market, where should our product be? I mean, so many things, right? So what I've developed is a very simple matrix for making a decision. The first thing that you do is you define what you're trying to decide. This is not a paragraph. I don't want 30 words on what it should be. A simple sentence on what you're trying to decide. A few things you can ask yourself is, does this question stick to the facts? Don't get theoretical. Do you really want it? And this is an important question. As you're trying to decide this new idea for your business or this thing you're going to choose, if you don't want it, then why do it? If it's not going to impact you, then why go through the trouble? If someone gave you advice, and believe me, if you've been in business more than 5 minutes, somebody somewhere gave you advice. If that advice is not something you want, you need to temper that. Does it match the vision? Remember I said before, the vision is the guide. In some terms, this is our business plan or our mission statement, but everything you decide must meet the vision. If it falls outside the vision, it may be a distraction. And if it's a distraction, it will keep you from reaching the ultimate goal. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And when my guys back in the US, they hear this, and they hear me say this, they have to remind me of this all the time. I can do a lot of things, and I try to do them all, but they remind me to stick to the vision. And most importantly for me, is it in harmony with your spiritual beliefs? So a lot of people in business, they don't bring this in when they're talking about making visions. But I believe that it is very important to stick to what we believe. And if what we're trying to decide falls outside of that, it's an immediate no. So after you ask yourself these questions and you have your decision that you need to make, you give yourself 3 options. Not 4, not 6, not 10, 3. After you give yourself 3 options, you go through positive consequences and negative consequences. So what I mean is for each one of these 3 options, you ask yourself, what's good, what's bad? What will help me? What will be harder? If something will cost more money, but it will bring more revenue, you start talking about those. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to then study those positive and negative consequences. You're going to choose one. This is very simple, but if we don't follow a pattern like this, we can take days, weeks, and months to make simple decisions in business, and that costs us time, which costs us money. the last thing you do is you decide and you memorialize in writing how you will take action. This is one of the most important parts of the decision-making process, because if you spend all of the time going through this, you write everything down, you research everything, and then you don't do anything about it, talk about lost effort. It's like deciding to take a 2-day vacation and then not actually going on vacation. You've missed the results. You've missed the point of the entire exercise. So write down how you will take action. And now we're going to talk about that. When you take action, as I just said, it's very helpful. When you don't, there is a cost. The cost of inaction is stagnance. You don't go anywhere. You don't achieve anything. In business, I've met many entrepreneurs who have great ideas, but they don't act on them. And as I said before, this costs you time and money, but it also costs you something else: the ability to realize your vision. Once you start taking action, it's really important to create a habit out of it. A habit of action does something really cool. It breeds consistency. A lot of business people want to shoot for the star, right? They want the $1 million contract. They want to work with the government. They want something huge. They want $1 million in their first year, and they do everything they can to achieve it, and then they miss the mark because they worked so hard for one thing, when it is better to take consistent action. Day by day, in baseball we say home run, right? But I say base hit. Why? It is easier to achieve a base hit every single day and earn more runs than it is to work so hard to hit that home run and miss. So when you create consistency of action, something else happens. You get velocity of action. Now notice I didn't say speed, because there's a difference between speed and velocity. Speed can be uncontrollable. You're driving your car, you have no brakes, you have lots of speed, zero control. Velocity is something that you control. Velocity is something that you put impact on, and you say, this is how I want to go and this is how fast. This is the momentum that we're looking for. With those daily base hits, with this momentum, you will be more successful than the person who is aiming for the stars. They may make their millions 10, 20 years from now, but you will be successful today. Now remember, I asked you before, what is the most important, vision, decision, or action? So I'd like you guys to tell me again. Raise your hand if you think vision is the most important. Okay. Decision. Action. Okay. How about all of them? Right? The issue is they're all important, but without action, they all lose power. You can have a great vision. You can be great at making decisions, but unless you act on them, they lose their power. Something that I really became aware of after we were watching these pitches is that there's so much passion in this room. I know some of you haven't returned because you weren't selected and so you didn't come back, but I want all of the who watch this, who were pitching here before, all 50 of you, to know that you have the ability to take action and change the reality of your country. You have the ability to take action and change the reality of your life. The people that I work with in the United States to start businesses, these are not rich people. I work with middle to low income. Does anybody know why I choose to work with those people? Because they are dedicated to changing their circumstance. They will work hard. They will get up at 2 a.m. because they have a full-time job and get a few hours of work in and take action. They will come home at night at 6 and work till midnight on their business to take action because they want it. And you have to do that. You have to want to take action. As I bring my short talk to a close, I just want to implore everyone that circumstance does not measure your ability to succeed. Someone told me yesterday, one of the pitches, man, if we don't get so many thousands of dollars, we won't be able to do it. And I said, well, what if you take this, this, and this out? You're finished by tomorrow. You have a product, you make money. Tomorrow you increase, right? Take the steps you can take and do something today. If I could implore any of you, do something today for well, stay for the rest of the event. Then after the event, go and do something to take advantage. But do take action, because without that, really, what are we here for? What I want to do is I want to offer to any of the startups in the audience, I'm going to be here for a couple of more days, tomorrow and Saturday. And if you guys are stuck, if you're stuck at vision, if you're stuck at mission, if you're stuck at action, please find me and connect with me. I will take some time and we will go through it together. Sometimes all it takes is 10 minutes to break through. So don't let any one of the issues in those areas stop you from doing that. I and the rest of the Lift Pakistan team, we are here to help you achieve. Thank you, everyone.